Let's move to our next presentation, Textile 4.0, the impact of fourth industrial revolution on the textile and apparel industry, by Chinky Tiagi, Head of Business Development at World Textile Information Network, United Kingdom.
Thank you for the introduction. My presentation is going to be slightly different. It's not very technical, so I hope I can keep your interest in this presentation. So we are seeing all the technological giants are entering into textile sector, and there must be a reason why these industries like Google, Apple, Microsoft are all looking into textile and apparel manufacturing sector. And the one main reason is because A, textile, you don't have to convince your customer, everybody needs a textile on their back. And B, if you can make your fabric as the base for data, there's a lot of data that you can harness in this industry. So what do we need to do as a textile manufacturer or somebody who's providing technology in this segment? We all need to digitally transform. And by digital transformation, we've defined this as a way to substantially change the business performances through digitalization techniques. And these techniques can be either at the manufacturing process, where you are using the existing methods, but you're using the new methods, but using traditional textile, new methods to produce traditional standard products, or you could actually use the existing methods and create a smart product. And in the end, there's a smart product which harnesses data back to the supplier, or create completely new business models. So as the topic of this presentation is all around Industry 4.0, I thought I'll start with giving you some examples around operational efficiency. You might have seen these already, but I hope there's something new in here for you. So this is from Twine Solutions. It's a waterless digital thread dyeing technology where your data input is a gray thread. And they've created an app as well. You can download it on your phone called Snap Match. You can take a picture, and that app will actually, you can take a picture on your phone, and that app will actually color match it on the phone itself. So you don't need stocks of different threads. There's just one unit that you need, and you can get threads based on your requirement, the colored threads based on your requirement. Another example is called the Bionic Cobot, which has mimicked the human grip. And we know with the rising prices, the rising wages in Asian economies, the manufacturers need to balance the cost. And one way can be to actually have these cobots in tandem with humans, because this cobot has been created mimicking the human hand. It's flexible, it's soft, so there is no health and safety issue. It can very well work in tandem with your workers in a factory setup. I may probably ask, how many of you know about software automation? Because, okay, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so they are based out of Atlanta. It's a spin-off that came out of Georgia Tech University, and they've created a fully automatic T-shirt sewing line where there is no human intervention. And you can see some examples. They've done some bath mats. They've done a T-shirt line. And their business model is to provide this solution only to companies that are looking to bring manufacturing nearshoring. It's not, I'll just give an example here. It's not that you can buy this machine and put it in China and then manufacture from China and send it back to US. No. They'll only sell it to those businesses who want to produce locally and sell in the local market. So this is something that the nearshoring market should look at. This is a very interesting chart. I think it's very interesting. I don't know. I might probably ask your opinion after this. So the x-axis is based on, the y-axis is the production quantity per variant. And you would see that before the ready-to-wear clothing market emerged, the number of variants for each item were less. It was all more personalized, individual items were created. But when the fast fashion kicked off in mid-1990s, everything became about mass manufacturing. wear and throw concept came in, and when the quotas were eliminated, we've seen in our industry that majority of the manufacturing moved towards East, and as an example, US itself, like 75% of the import was coming from China alone. But in the beginning of fourth industrial revolution, and with the consumer mindset changing, where there's a lot of talk around sustainability, there are a lot of initiatives being taken to bring manufacturing reshoring, nearshoring, we think the number of variants would go down and people will start buying more responsibly. So you need to have something in place which will give them that opportunity of ordering and then being manufactured, and the turnaround time to be probably maximum 2 to 3 days. So this apparel boomerang is coming back home. It's not going away to Far East, if I may say so. But there are challenges with that. And as a traditional manufacturer, it can be a bit overwhelming, but we are not alone in this journey. We recently, and I wouldn't say it recently, probably it's been 3 quarters now, we did a study called the Digital Transformation Outlook, and we published it in December, where 320 businesses participated in the study. And we found some of the challenges that the industry is facing, and perhaps some of you might have solutions for those, because I don't know the audience mix here, but you might have some of the answers for those problems. If you want to download the full report, you can talk to me, I can give you a copy, or else you could download it from this link, or come and see us in Hall 3, booth A104, WTIN stand, and we can share the full copy with you. So, based on the participant profile, almost 6 out of 10 businesses have already started this digitalization journey. They have either invested in a technology or have strategically made plans to go the digitalization way. Those who haven't, the remaining 90% of those have said, yes, they are going to invest in digital technologies within the next 5 years. And America, being almost 60% of the businesses, are saying within the next 2 months, they will get on this journey. There is a bit of a geographical split, if I may say. Europe, they're already on this journey, and they're seeing some benefits out of it. American sentiment is where they think they have been late adopters. They should have joined this few years ago when all the development was happening in Europe, but they are willing to, invest pretty fast and join the journey. For Asia, there was a sentimental mix there where they still, because it's still considered to be a low-cost producing market, they're not sure if, because these technologies are so expensive, that what would be their return on investment time. So they are still looking at some case studies. Unfortunately, when we did the survey, there were not many live case studies available, but over the 3 quarters, I've seen some live examples that have come forward. So hopefully, we'll have more of interest from Asia going forward. Some of the challenges here were, there is a lack of collaboration. I think we need to learn from technology companies. For any technology company either you come as a disruptor in the market, if not, you need to collaborate and create something good. There is a lack of collaboration between the textile and apparel community. Everybody likes to work in silos, and they're like, okay, this is my bit, I'm not going to share it with anyone. But we need to change that mindset. Just the presentation before mine talked about smart textiles. If you are into smart textiles, you need to work with an electronics guy, you need to work with a designer, you need to work with a production person. That collaboration is required. One person cannot have all the expertise, so you need to come forward, collaborate with businesses, then only you'll be able to succeed in this journey. There is a lack of strategic direction, if I may say so, and that stems from the fact that there are still people who think the industry, in Asia for that matter, would still be always low cost. Nearshoring is not going to happen. That's not the case. It will definitely not happen in the next 5 years. I'm not saying it will definitely happen in 10, but that's the direction it's going into. And if you don't change today, you're going to miss the boat. You have to bring value-added products. To give an example, I was once at a conference and somebody made a presentation on fiber prices, and one person said, polyester is eating cotton for breakfast. And then after that, the whole conversation in the room was around volumes. I've got one unit, I've introduced another volume unit. It's not about that. It's not just about volumes. It's also about adding value to your product. Can you functionalize your fibers? Can you add something more to your gray fabric? It's the next stage you need to go in order to give that full value to your customer. It's not just about the volume game here. Some other issues were around economic benefits. Yes, it definitely stems from the fact that we don't have any case studies here. They are coming now, but I think in a year or two we'll have more examples where companies have adopted this in Industry 4.2. Lack of skilled professionals. This is very interesting. There was 27% that said they don't have right professionals, but I must appreciate that the textile sector, from the audience that participated, almost 55% are willing to spend money on training and investment, or willing to work with consultants. So if there are any consultants in the room, this is the chance for you. You need to go forward, and there is a chance that they will want to work with you or get their staff trained by you. Data continuum. So this is a breakdown of our participants in terms of whether their current data analytical capabilities are. And one-fifth of them are moving towards predictive data capabilities, and I think this is mainly around machinery, that they can take stock of their take control of their stock volumes or see what's happening with the machinery. But I was quite surprised to see the breakdown, because there were manufacturers, OEM manufacturers, and brands in this survey. A lot of brands are still using a retrospective methods of predicting their data. They're pretty good on their online sales channels, but when it comes to production, they still play the volume game. Okay, X volume, that'll be cost beneficial for us, and that's the volume game they're playing. They need to connect all the parts of their supply chain and become predictive. That's the key. If you don't share your data with your supplier, and you don't share your data with your tier 2, tier 3 supplier, you're going to have issues around your volume or overstock. And you need to come forward and create a way to share this data. The more transparency is required around data sharing. Can I just have some hands here? Any OEM producers here? Okay, one. Any textile and apparel manufacturers? Okay, few of you. So this is where I think there is some opportunity for technology providers. During the survey, almost majority said that they're interested in finding out more about artificial intelligence, the need that for their businesses. But unfortunately, their willingness to invest in these technologies was pretty low. And when we ask them why that is this reason, they say they don't understand the technology. They don't know. They've heard about it. They go to all conferences, exhibitions, and hear about it, but they don't know exactly how this technology fits into their business plan. So I think we need to invest a little more in educational programs. Send your teams out. Let them understand the technology, and these are some of the areas where we think for manufacturers like augmented reality, I think they like the fancy word there, but I'm not sure how that would work with them. But smart logistics is very important in manufacturing segment, as well as 3D tools for designing. A lot of people are actually adopting these now, but there's not enough out there in terms for them to understand this. A lot of brands are trying to move towards fully smart logistic warehousing and going 100% towards 3D designing in order to reduce the waste at the design and sampling level. A little bit around return on investment and sentiment of the industry. So this bit, we actually had a question in our survey where we asked them, like, the panel that we had this afternoon where my colleague Tanzi asked about where do you see the industry going in 2030? And this was derived from using IBM Watson's natural language programming, where we read tried to understand their sentiments and put an algorithm around it, and we think the industry around Industry 4.0 is moving towards a positive sentiment, but it's not yet there because there is a lot of apprehension around the return on investment. And an average investment that people were saying over next 24 months is $837,000 US with a payback of 4.5 years. Europe's expectation on payback is around 2.5 years. Americans expect a return on investment, say, in 12 months, which is not possible in this technology. You have to be in this game for a while when it can show you some returns. So don't invest into it thinking, okay, I've invested, and from next quarter, I'm going to see benefits out of this. It's a long-term game. It's a long-term investment that you're doing into your business. The gentleman in the panel session earlier said, we are moving towards connected industry. And I think by 2025, we will have the pull economy. It will be the day. That will be, I'm not saying everybody would move towards that, but yes, a few chunk that will move towards this kind of a business model will be more successful than others. And when I say pull economy, I mean we need to have fabrics that are functionalized, that are smart, that can hold data, that can transmit data from the user to the brand, and perhaps the brand can transfer that data from their department to the manufacturer. So everybody understands the user, and it can help you evaluate trends. Probably it can give you insight into, if I like yellow color, for that matter, and you, as a manufacturer, get that data, you know, okay, if that color is being produced again, there is a high possibility that XYZ person will buy that thing. So around the usage of fabric, around the whole value chain of personalization and customization, that's where the economy is going towards, and more towards nearshoring, because as millennials, we don't want to wait for too long. We want to place an order. We want to get it in a couple of days. And if we can get it the same day, nothing better than that. I'll leave you with this last thought, because I do think textile sector can learn a lot from technology companies, and I do like a lot of work that Amazon does, so I'm being a little biased here. That don't look out for competition all the time. Don't look out for what the competitor is doing. Try and collaborate with your customers as well. Try, collaborate, and learn what their demand is in terms of data analytics, in terms of how fast they want the product, and that's where you can create your own niche. Yes, there is a market for mass production. There is a market for what you've been doing in the past, and you continue doing that because there are areas where that's required. But if you want to go to the next level, if you want to change your business models, you need to work with your customers. That's one thing I would leave you with this thought. Thank you so much.